Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Tin Man Score channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and today I'm reacting to my third and final Creepy Diaries video for you guys, and this was titled The Silent Woods Horror Story. So without further ado, I'm going to turn these lights off, move the camera back up here for you guys, and let's get this reaction on the road and in the bag, shall we? Okay, here we go.
I've always been an avid camper, and my dog Max has been my faithful companion on every trip. We've explored countless trails and camped in numerous locations, but this particular trip was different. We were 200 miles away from home, in a place I'd never been before. The excitement of discovering new terrain was palpable, and I couldn't wait to set up camp and enjoy the serenity of the woods.
First of all, he's kind of right. You get to camp in weird and undiscovered terrain. That's always cool, but you always got to be aware that crazy people or potential predators will be roaming around too, so you always got to be prepared for that and make sure they don't come and attack you while you're sleeping in a tent at night. But that does sound cool to set up camp somewhere and explore the terrain while you're there. I wouldn't mind doing that myself.
As the sun began to set, I found the perfect spot to pitch our tent. Max and I worked together to set up camp, and soon we were enjoying a hearty meal under the canopy of the trees. The night came quickly, and the silence of the woods was almost deafening. I decided to make a coffee and read a book to pass the time. As I sipped my coffee, I noticed the flickering light of my lantern casting eerie shadows on the tent walls. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching us. I tried to dismiss the thought, attributing it to the unfamiliar surroundings. Suddenly, I saw a shadow outside the tent. It was tall and thin, and it moved with an unnatural grace. My heart raced as I tried to rationalize what I was seeing. I told myself it was just a trick of the light, but the shadow persisted.
I don't think it's a trick of the eye, dude. You never know, somebody might have went out there and grabbed your lantern and start moving around in weird ways just to make it look like their shadow is changing form on their tent, or it could be a spirit maybe that's haunting them woods. I mean, you just don't know, but you might have been camping in dangerous territory. Well, let's just see what else this guy finds out.
Moving closer to the tent, I decided to investigate, grabbing my flashlight and unzipping the tent door. Max followed close behind, his ears perked up in alertness. As we stepped outside, the shadow vanished, leaving me feeling foolish for being so easily spooked. I tried to shake off the unease and return to my book, but the feeling of being watched persisted. I couldn't help but glance up every few minutes, scanning the darkness for any sign of the shadow.
Hey, you ain't the only one. If I encountered something like that, I'll be doing the same thing as well, because I just don't like having that feeling of somebody watching me at my campsite. I mean, at this point, I would be like packing up and be like, nope, I'm out of here. Whoever's out there in the woods, it's all yours now, and leave. Let's just continue on and see what happens next.
As the night wore on, the silence of the woods became more oppressive. The usual sounds of the forest, the rustling of leaves, the hooting of owls, the distant howl of a wolf, were conspicuously absent. It was as if the woods themselves were holding their breath, waiting for something to happen. I tried to focus on my book, but the words blurred together on the page. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. I decided to turn in for the night, hoping that sleep would bring some relief from the unease that had settled over me. As I lay in my sleeping bag, I could hear Max's soft breathing beside me. I tried to focus on the sound, using it as a way to ground myself in the present moment. But the silence of the woods seemed to press in on me, making it impossible to relax. Suddenly, I heard a soft rustling outside the tent. I froze, listening intently. The sound grew louder, and I could hear the unmistakable sound of footsteps. My heart pounded in my chest as I realized that whatever was out there was getting closer. I reached for my flashlight, but before I could turn it on, the tent was ripped open. I gasped in shock as I saw the source of the shadow, a tall, thin figure with glowing eyes and long, spindly fingers. It moved with an unnatural grace, its eyes locked on mine. Max let out a low growl, his hackles raised. I could feel the tension in the air as the creature approached, its eyes never leaving mine. I knew that I had to act, but I was paralyzed with fear. Suddenly, Max lunged at the creature, his teeth bared. The creature let out a high-pitched shriek and retreated, disappearing into the darkness. I scrambled to my feet, grabbing my flashlight and scanning the woods for any sign of the creature. But there was nothing. The woods were silent once again, as if nothing had happened. I tried to rationalize what I had seen, but the memory of the creature's glowing eyes and spindly fingers was seared into my mind.
Oh my goodness, he must have had an encounter with a Wendigo. He should consider himself lucky because if he didn't have his dog with him, that thing probably would have came in and ripped him to pieces. You just don't know. This will be a perfect time to pack your stuff up and get it out of there because you see that thing once, it'll probably come back. You never know. Unless the dog scared it away for good, but I don't know. Let's just see.
I knew that we couldn't stay in that place any longer. I quickly packed up our gear and led Max back to the car. As we drove away, I couldn't help but glance in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see the creature following us. In the days that followed, I tried to make sense of what had happened. I searched for any information about the area, hoping to find some explanation for the creature I had seen. But there was nothing. No reports of strange sightings, no legends or folklore. I knew that I would never forget that night in the silent woods. The memory of the creature's glowing eyes and the oppressive silence of the woods would haunt me for the rest of my life. But I also knew that I would never let fear keep me from exploring the world around me. As I sat down to write this story, I couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude for Max. Without his bravery and loyalty, I might not have made it out of that place alive. And as I looked into his eyes, I knew that we would continue to explore the world together, facing whatever challenges came our way.
Thank God that he did the right thing and packed up and got out of there because you never know, that creature might decide to come back with friends of his or come back probably ready to kill you. Thank God he had his dog with him. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications for more creepy diaries content like this. This has been another successful installment of the Tin Man Score channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor. That's a wrap, and have a nice day, buddy.